Satan never sleeps, and he redoubles his effort against every setback. Case in point is the setback he suffered due to another of his total war initiatives, namely Islamic extremism and terrorism. To recap, the Cameron government was 2 days from the second reading of a bill to decriminalise abortion, which had easily passed the first reading months before. Now, for the last 5 years, a group that has been praying for the end of IPPF, a global abortion provider called International Planned Parenthood Federation, by directing their prayers at the hearts and souls of those who work for IPPF at their global HQ in Southwark, a diocese in London. The I Hope team starts their prayers from the middle of Westminster Bridge at midday, and process with Our Lady held aloft and pray in the Rosary to Mass at St. George's Cathedral, Southwark. After Mass, as Temples of the Blessed Sacrament, they go to the IPPF headquarters, where they present the loving face of Christ as best they can, joyfully praying and singing until around 3 p.m, all in love and peace. When the news came that the Royal College of Midwives had pronounced that they felt that the decriminalising of abortion would serve women, the I Hope prayer warriors directed their prayers to the senior staff of the Royal College of Midwives, turning up at their headquarters in the rain. They prayed for nearly 2 hours, and it became clear then that the political objectives of the bill was aimed at Northern Ireland. The British government, led by David Cameron, wanted to force Northern Ireland to accept abortion. For if abortion is no longer a crime in the UK, then it will not be a crime in Northern Ireland. However, on the 22nd of March 2017, at around 2:30, an Islamic terrorist called Khalid Massoud drove his vehicle into pedestrians on Westminster Bridge, knocking one woman into the river at the exact spot where the prayer group I Hope starts their monthly procession in prayer. This is where, in this terrifying and wicked act, Satan bit his own tail, because this evil caused a citywide lockdown. Therefore, the reading of the bill to decriminalise abortion could not be read in Parliament that week. The bill was delayed for at least 3 months. Then the second blow to the bill came with the resignation of David Cameron due to the results of the Brexit referendum.
The British people have voted to leave the European Union. I think the country requires fresh leadership to take it in this direction.
This meant that the bill had to start from scratch, and the newly elected leader of the Conservative Party, Theresa May, never supported the killing of unborn children. And apparently this killed the bill altogether. This seemed like the prayers of the I Hope prayer warriors had been answered, but more was to unfold.
I have just chaired a meeting of the Cabinet where we agreed that the government should call a general election to be held on the 8th of June.
Which resulted in a hung parliament, with the Conservatives, the largest party, and they co-opted the Democratic Unionist Party of Northern Ireland, who are pro-life, and have managed to keep Northern Ireland relatively free from the curse of abortion, despite the decades of bullying and intimidation from many Westminster politicians and well-funded abortion groups and organisations. This was the third blow for the bill. Now we hear the drum beat again. This death-churning noise proves that Satan never sleeps. The call for the decriminalisation of abortion is nothing to do with women being threatened with jail for having an illegal abortion. Yet the powers of evil trot out these suggestions as though women are living in fear of it, and the law is hunting them down. This is not true. But they, with the media and the BBC in particular, want you to believe it. So why are they doing it? It's very simple, and only a devious mind with a global outlook could have come up with it. As stated, Northern Ireland is the reason, but actually it is worse than that. Northern Ireland is the jewel, but it is not the crown. If the British government decriminalises abortion, it means that it is no longer a crime in the UK. Northern Ireland is in the UK, so even if their laws make it illegal, it will be overridden by UK law by simply stating no crime was committed, thereby discounting not just the democratically elected Northern Ireland Assembly, but also the people of Northern Ireland and their decades-long struggle to keep Northern Ireland abortion-free. Yet the jewel is not the crown, since the crown is the rest of the Commonwealth that have fought to not kill their unborn babies. They will be directly affected since they refer and defer to UK law. This bill is like an atom bomb. The explosion hits Northern Ireland first, the shock wave will hit the Commonwealth, and the fallout is the rest of the world, as these countries tend to follow where Britain leads. So what to do? We have been given a tiny insight to the intentions of the evil one and a small window of opportunity so that we must strike before he strikes in Parliament. Our weapons are prayer, fasting, sacrifice, almsgiving and penance. Choose your weapons and engage in a battle with others. Do not go it alone. You will be battered, worn down, and maybe even defeated. We war most effectively in teams, battalions, legions, platoons, squads, and armies who reflect the love of Jesus Christ. We need to be faithful not just to our Lord and His Mother, but to the mission. We need to target our efforts and stand our ground, never deserting the post, because many lives will be lost if you fail. We are in a privileged time and position where we can easily become spiritual martyrs, political martyrs, freedom martyrs, or even blood martyrs. This major battle cry in the City of London is one we cannot afford to lose. Northern Ireland has stood firm and virtually alone for 5 decades. Now they need our help like they have never needed it before. Engage, get on your knees, call for support and backup from family and friends, saints and angels, Our Lady and her Son, for your soul will also be in peril if you are asked by our Lord, "What did you do with the talents I gave you?" And you are unable to reply, or you reply that you buried it in the world. Our Lord said,
"As for this good-for-nothing servant, throw him out into the darkness. There will be weeping and grinding of teeth."
Please join us wherever you are in the world. The 12th of each month that falls on a weekday, you will find us at the IPPF Global Headquarters in Southwark, London, praying for the workforce of this baby-killing machine. Call on your friends and family, dead or alive. Call on nuns in holy orders, monks and friars, and anyone and everyone who desires to respond to the request of Our Lady and the cry of the unborn child. We must enter the fight on our knees through fasting, charity and penance. We can do this. We can stop the increase of innocent blood flow in the English-speaking world. We can decrease the sorrow that mothers and fathers would endure and spare many souls of those who work in the baby-killing industry. Do not pass by on the other side, but be the Good Samaritan by bringing hope and compassion through your love and defense of the defenseless unborn child. Your prayers are powerful and are desperately needed now.